Hello again. In the forest with Roslyn and Peter, and I don't know where, and Mooney drinking out of the tree. So, get my tarot cards that I brought with me out of my trusty vest here. Earlier today, the cards that I drew for the day were the Magician from the Lightseers Tarot. But who, hang on, it's hard to see. It says, but who shall judge? But who shall judge? From Tabatha's collage oracle deck. And tonight I was in a call with my very dear friend. She's like a sister to me, who is a coach and a mentor and one who helps take your dreams and bring you through those actionable steps that will help make them a reality. Regina of Wellspring Coaching, and I'll link to her down below. I was in a call with her for a sacred container that I'm doing. Just want to show you this. So beautiful. And it was really cool because we were talking about our life stories and things that we had gleaned from childhood. And I had a really big realization. There's Mooney. That's my big realization. I had a really big realization, and that was that based on the things that I was taught as a child that mattered, which were, again, prestige and achievement and status and having a lot of money and a big time job and nice cars and a nice house, based on those things, which were paradigms that I subscribed to and that I'm still trying to get away from, basically, hence all the negative self-talk, as there's still parts of me inside of me that believe that that is what makes someone a winner, which is a sad thing to have to believe, that I have to be some kind of winner in order to be worthy, because a winner automatically denotes a loser, as in, like, you have to be better than other people to feel worthy. And that's a paradigm that I want to be conscious of so that I'm not subscribing to it anymore. I realized quite fully, became conscious of the fact that 10-year-old me, 15-year-old me, 18-year-old me, for sure, until the first big thing I did that got away from this paradigm a little bit when I was 19 years old, and I transferred from Northwestern University, and the best undergraduate school of journalism in the country, to Montana State University, to be outside and closer to horses and back in the Mountain West that I loved. So that was like the first big thing I did that was kind of to break away from the expected and that belief that only by having, the biggest names behind me, like going to the best school and the best program, those kinds of things, that would make me worthy. Definitely until then, and still struggling with that now. I absolutely, let's say as a 17-year-old, would have looked at my life now as a 33-year-old and judged the fuck out of myself because of the values that I was taught brought worthiness. Title, having a job that made a lot of money, being at the top of the hierarchical pecking order in a capitalistic patriarchy. Both my parents were doctors, so, and my mom comes from a family of doctors, and then one child who's a lawyer, so I thought I had to be a lawyer to be worthy. Like, these were the only things, having those kinds of titles and prestige and making that kind of money were the only things that could have made me worthy in my family and that would have defined success. So 17-year-old me would have judged the shit out of 33-year-old me right now, living so differently with different values, like being present, being holistically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, heart-wise, relationally integrated and healthy. In other words, 17-year-old me would have thought I was a fucking loser. and a fucking failure, and are you a joke, and is this real, and you fucking suck. You don't have anything measurable, anything comparable, anything that makes you a winner by society's standards to show. And so you're a loser. I realized today during that call with a bunch of other amazing women, processing the things that we had learned, that 17-year-old me would have called my own self right now a loser. And so, of course, that voice is inside of me. And again, just self-compassion, just a lot of compassion and validation. Like, no wonder I'm feeling this way. And just coming head to head with that and realizing it's not just me, or it's not, well, it is me. It's not just society or my family. It's my very own past self that lives inside me that would have judged the fuck out of me. And so I just think this is really cool, right? The magician, which I think I'm definitely becoming now. I mean, I relate to this photo. The magician asking, but who shall judge? And of course the answer is me. And when I'm with my authentic values that care more about the quality of life and existence in every experience, the quality of my relationship with myself, and the quality of how much I am conscious of and have come conscious of from being unconscious, honestly, dude, I'm doing pretty fucking well. I've come a really long ways. But who shall judge? When it comes to how much I know of myself and my authentic story and me figuring out a way to live a life that's authentic to me, as unorthodox as it is, I'm doing great. When it comes to measures like prestigious titles and money in mainstream society, I'm a fucking loser. I mean, I remember as a child, we grew up in such a big house. And granted, we saw a lot of different kinds of life experiences, and I had a lot of different kind of friends. However, I distinctly remember having like a thought that apartments weren't real houses. Only houses like ours were real houses. Like, I remember thinking that as a child. And again, not being explicitly told that, but kind of getting that messaging. So what would 10-year-old me have thought of 33-year-old me living in a duplex with 3 dogs and no yard with my cousin? That I was a fucking loser. However, 33-year-old me thinks, wow, it's amazing how sustainably I'm living, how I don't have very much more than I need, what a small footprint I'm making, how it's so cool to live in such an efficient, communal, tight-knit, minimalistic way with my cousin, and to have a house where maybe we don't have a lot and we share a lot, which is incredible because that's another value of mine, and that's sustainable. And there is so much love and care and presence and intention and just handmade art. Like, it's a tiny home of collage in that house. And so I just wanted to share this with you. I don't know if you'll relate. This is a vulnerable story of something I realized tonight about what a sadly judgmental child and teen and still parts of me are, because I believed that being judged the best by these easily measurable, mainstream, outside, hierarchical, patriarchal standards were what defined my worth. And yeah, I know that a lot of the spiritual parts of me have known that that's not true, and that's just been part of my journey. This is the emotional, therapeutic, relational part that comes to be with and recognize and listen to that past programming and have serious compassion for it and really understand it. And something big got made conscious for me today that was unconscious. So thanks for listening and being along for the journey. And I'd love to hear any thoughts, that come up for you with this, with your own journey, and maybe ways that you can recognize that you've judged yourself or others because you were taught that needing to be on the upper end of that judgment was the way to get love and worth, and maybe new ways that you're judging yourself. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Till next time.